Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's so good to see you all again. I hope you all are having a great time at Thai Global Summit 2020, which is the world's largest entrepreneurial summit by the entrepreneurs for the entrepreneurs. Did you know we had 40,000 plus registrations, 20,000 plus startups who are participating with us, 350 speakers, 500 plus one-on-one sessions, and 135 plus leading companies that are participating with us. Taking this forward, we have another very interesting session for all of you today. It's called Masterclass 5 Pillars of Digital Strategy. And to take this forward with us, we have Ms. Sudha Reddy, who's from San Francisco. I'm sorry about that. She's the head of product and general manager, Savio India. Ms. Sudha is a solutions focused executive and thought leader with experience in product as well as managing teams across different territories. We are so happy to have you here, Ms. Sudha. Thank you so much for joining.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Jaslyn, for introducing me and for the warm welcome. Today, as most of you guys know, advertising in general is a big challenge. Digital strategy is plays a pivotal role in how we run business. And even after being in that same space for so many years, I still have so many questions around it. And let's actually introduce Bree Goldstein, who is a professor of internet marketing. She's also an award-winning author, digital marketing consultant, and a best-selling author to answer some of the questions. So today, Bree is going to walk us through the pillars of digital strategy, help you through understanding how to tackle this. So over to you, Bree.
Hello, good morning. I am going to start sharing my screen now so that we can all be on the same page. So thank you for the wonderful introduction. I'll expand a little bit on who I am. I'm a former firefighter. I was a professional firefighter for a number of years before getting into internet marketing and digital media. I founded Publicly Related, which is a internet marketing public relations agency. As you mentioned, I am a university professor in digital media marketing at the University of Central Florida, and I'm a best-selling international best-selling author. So thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here and to talk with all of you. Let's jump right into it. So today you will learn who needs a digital strategy, why having a digital strategy could help you, and how to create your digital strategy. So we'll talk about the 5 pillars, 5 things that every organization or individual using digital media should consider. So should you have your own digital strategy? Should you be on digital media? It depends. Do you own a business or do you run an organization? Do you handle digital media for an organization or a business? Are you active online professionally? Do you post online? And ultimately, is your organization online? If you answered yes to any of those, then you absolutely should be online and you should have a strategy to guide what you do. And if you answered no to all of the above, but you want to increase your reach, you want to bring on new clients, you want to really make sure that your digital footprint is what you want, not what others are posting about you, then yes, you should also have a digital media strategy. So for those of you who fall into either of those buckets, let's go on. Let's get right into it. So how can you determine what type of digital media is going to be best for you? How can you inform, what a digital media strategy can do for you is it can inform what you're doing and where you're going, and it can help guide you when you don't know what to do. It can also help you pivot. So a digital strategy is tremendous. Before you strategize, before you do anything, you should know your audience, your exact audience. You want to know exactly who you're talking to. So know them beyond their basic demographics of age and gender and location, but really understand who they are by name. You can name them friends' names because you should know them as well as you know your best friends. So understand their likes and their dislikes and their fears and what motivates them, what inspires them, what's their background, where do they spend their time online, where do they spend their time offline, are they in, where do they spend their time, or where do they live? For example, I'm in Florida, and a lot of you are probably in India. So if you're posting to someone in India, you'd post at a different time than you would post to someone in Florida, United States, right? Know their religious background, know their health demographics. What is their lifestyle? Do they like to get out and go do things, or are they more of a homebody? There's no judgment in creating your audience, but you need to know your audience. So you know what to post, when to post, how to craft your messaging. Figure out what kind of device they use. Are they an Apple user or do they use PC? Do they spend more time on mobile or desktop? Really get to know them. How do they like to consume media? Do they read articles? Are they looking for short copy? Do they enjoy memes? Are they younger where they're just watching videos and looking at images? Who is your audience? And when you figure out that, then you can figure out how to craft your message and you can start testing it before you go down the path of actually starting to bring on new clients and engage with them and maintain your relationships and build your reputation online. So before you ever strategize, know your audience. When you build your audience, or excuse me, as you build your strategy, you want to make sure that you plan ahead. You want to make sure that you craft your unique content. You should make sure you automate as much as possible. If you can have an email send out automatically every time somebody signs up for your email list, or a text message automatically go out, that's one less thing that you have to do manually. One less thing you have to have one of your staff members do. So make sure that you automate as much as possible to make it as streamlined as possible and to take as much off of your plate as you can. Next, stay active and avoid using jargon unless your audience actually uses jargon, right? You want to post information and content that your audience will find interesting. Regardless of what you like and what you find interesting, gear it to your audience to make them enjoy it, to put it is something that they would really want to learn more about, something they want to engage with, they want to like, click on, share. And if it doesn't work, pivot. Lastly, follow the 80-20 rule pretty much. So 80% of what you post should be engaging content, talking to your audience, talking with your audience, about things they like. And then the other 20%, that can actually be about your organization or upcoming events, promotions, milestones, but really that should be the minimal part of what you're posting. The majority of your content should be for your audience, unrelated to your organization. So there's so many tools you can put in your toolkit, right? In your digital media strategy toolkit. You might choose advertisements, you might put up an e-commerce site, you might choose search engine marketing or marketing, you might even do lead generation. And you know what, some of the bullet points on the screen may not mean too much to you, and that's okay. That's okay. They don't mean too much to most people until you really get into it and you start understanding what it is. So I'll tell you a few of these. These are going to be the 5 pillars of your digital media strategy. So let's start with advertisements. They're not beneficial for everyone, but they may be beneficial for a lot of organizations, especially as you're getting your feet on the ground, as you're starting out. So they're pretty good in the short term. They help build your brand. They help get new traffic. They help get you to the top of search results, the SERP, the search engine results page, before your SEO, your search engine marketing, kicks in. So they're not great for long-term growth. They're difficult to sustain because they do require a budget. And depending on where you post, the frequency, the keywords, the budget could really get used up quite quickly. So let me back up for a minute. And I said the word keywords. If you're unfamiliar with that, those are terms that your audience uses when searching for your organization or when searching for you. So let's say that you have a pen company and you make the finest pens in the world. That's great. And you might have really specific terminology for your pens, but if your market, your target audience, if they just search for the word pen, then that would be your keyword. And then you can get more specific from there. So you could say red ballpoint pen. right? But you want to make sure that it's really what other people look for when they search for your organization, or when they think about your organization and they think about what you do and they talk about your industry. Those are your keywords, not necessarily what you would choose. It's not about you, it's about your audience. And that's one of the hardest things to keep in mind. So I just wanted to throw that little nugget in. There's a couple different types of ads. Ads on social, ads on search, different ads on websites, banner ads. Although typically the most effective ads are the ones who don't look like ads. They're called native ads, and they look just like any other post. You might see it on social, you might see it on a search, but they look just like organic content. The next tool that I want to mention is your direct marketing. So this is your email marketing and your SMS, MMS marketing. Email marketing goes to email. SMS, MMS, people are familiar with, but they're not usually familiar with this term. So SMS is text. MMS can be text, video, audio, or an image. And these arrive on a person's mobile device just as a text from your friend would arrive, although they come from an organization. And the organization uses, similar to an email list, they would use a text message list. And it's a short message service, multimedia service. So those are the differences. Both systems, email and SMS, MMS, require opt-in. You must offer a way to unsubscribe from both. And the benefit is that emails very quickly get deleted or overlooked, whereas SMS and MMS are typically read in less than 5 seconds. Let that sink in. If you're trying to fill a restaurant, you might shoot off a quick SMS message to your list and say, hey, here's our promotion tonight, or here's our special for tonight, and that'll be read within 5 seconds of receipt. Whereas email really depends on when people get to it and hopefully doesn't get overlooked. The next really important tool for you is lead generation. Lead generation is how to attract new customers. So this is where you're bringing in your customers and your clients. So it's not your repeat business, it's not the people you have in your funnel, it's your new people who you want to garner them, right? So what you might do is you might use a pop-up where we're on Zoom, we're talking together, and all of a sudden a little box pops up, and it usually has a promotion or sign up for our newsletter. And then there's always a way to opt out of that and to say no, or a little X to click out of it. But that would be a pop-up. Or you might offer a free trial. So a lot of organizations have a 14-day free trial. Or a promotion. Be one of the first 100 people to take our promotion and get 10% off, right? Or a social share. Or a landing page. You direct people to a landing page. It's a really easy way to show them exactly what they're looking for in real time. So let's say someone searches for your pens. Instead of just taking them to a full website all about different types of pens, you could take them to a very specific one page with a little bit of copy, a video, just a little bit of content, and a strong call to action, which might be now, or sign up, or contact us, or find our store. So that's your very simple landing page. They tend to work really well, and it's a great way to split test. Keep that word split test in mind. I'm going to come back to it. Something else you might want to offer is a free download. Everybody loves something free, and it's a great way to obtain their email address. Or a free text. You might text them a cool link, and it's a great way to obtain their phone number and have them opt in for your service. So let's see. The next thing you might want to do is offer a sneak peek where you're going to give them half of an article or show them part of a blog post, and then you have them sign up for your newsletter or go to your landing page to see the rest of the blog post. So it's really a way to direct traffic and, again, to garner their information. Remember, giving you their email address or their phone number, you can call it free, but it's really not, because they're giving you something. So you need to give them something in return. And I just want to make the point that although it's on the screen, I really want to make this point that for lead, you just can't rely on friends and family to talk about you. That's just not enough. Every organization, every person promoting themselves needs lead generation. So this should absolutely be a tool in your toolkit. It is absolutely one of the 5 pillars of a digital strategy. Whether you're selling yourself to get a job or you're selling a product or a service, everybody needs lead generation. I did mention keywords, and keywords fall under search engine optimization, which has to do with getting found organically. So where we talked about ads in the beginning, where it's a great way to get your footing and to test different terms and different platforms, what you really want to focus on is search engine optimization, because this will take you for the long run. And search engine optimization means getting found organically. So getting eyeballs on your website without paying for them, at least not paying for every click or every single eyeball. The way this works is it's all based on content. So you need to post unique content, which means you can't post the same content from one site to another or on 2 different platforms. Every time you post a blog post or content on your website or social media, it always needs to be unique. It can be about the same topic, but you need to have different words and different sentences and different phrases in there. It should be engaging for your audience. So that's the people you developed up front, that they need to find your content engaging, and it should be high quality, which means it's written like a native speaker. There's no errors with punctuation or grammar. The spelling is correct. So make sure it's high quality. Make sure you use your long tail and your short tail keywords. Remember when I mentioned your ballpoint pen or your pen? Those would be a short tail keyword, which means they have 1 to 2 words, whereas your blue ballpoint pen would be a long tail keyword because it has 3 or more words. So there's your short term versus your long tail, your short tail versus your long tail keywords. And you really want a mix of both. If you use too many keywords, search engines will reduce your rank. They'll ding you for that because they call it keyword stuffing, and it doesn't look like it was handwritten by a person for people. It looks like it was written by a robot or it's spun content. So you want to make sure that you don't have too many keywords, but you do have enough. Typical rule of thumb is 3 to 5 keywords per page if you're writing a page of content like a blog post or website copy. You can also optimize your social media, and you would do that similarly using your keywords and using keywords and hashtags. You can, here's a few examples of other content that you can optimize. So checklists if you're doing a free download, videos if you're doing video marketing, descriptions and podcasts, descriptions in your app store for your app store optimization, how-to guides, memes, GIFs, you name it. Now remember when I talked about split testing and I said remember that because I'm going to come back to it? Well, split testing is so important. So important. So this is where you test an image, or you can test colors, or you can test copy. And if you're not familiar with the word copy, I keep saying it, it's written content. So whereas a photo would be an image, you type up a blog post, you type up a tweet for Twitter, you type up information for your website, you type up an email, that's copy. Anything that you're actually typing words into, that's going to be your copy. So this is a split test or an A/B test, and sometimes people put them together and they call it the A/B split test. That's where you test your image, your copy, your colors, your button placement, and any other variables that you think would resonate best with your audience and with your market. And you can use this on advertisements. You can run 2 advertisements. You want to run them simultaneously so you get an accurate test. The incorrect way to do it would be to run one and then to run the other, because there's too many variables with timing and with everything happening in society during those 2 particular time periods. Run them simultaneously, which means take your budget, split it in half, run your ads, and just choose 1 variable per ad. So on 2 ads, you might change the color, use a red and a green, and see which one gets more clicks. And you would do that with verbs, same verbiage, the same copy, the same images, everything's the same except for that color. Similarly, you might run 2 landing pages and see which landing page converts better. Still directing traffic, same ad, then have it direct traffic to 2 different landing pages and see which one converts better. And on your conversion, what you're looking at is different copy on the landing page, or a different image, or a different video, or a different call to action button. And you hear me keep saying or, and that's because you only want to test one variable per split test at a time. Otherwise, you might change the copy and the color and the call to action, and you just don't know which one is making the difference. So it's important to just test one variable at a time. You can do it on articles. You can really do it on any of these types of content. So you could do how-to guides with a different title and see which one converts better. You could do a long form video versus a short form video and see where you get the most traffic. You could do 2 different memes, right? So I know I'm spending a lot of time here on the split test, but that's because it really is so important. One final nugget I want to leave you with is your design and your messaging. And that's because this can completely skew any marketing campaign. So split testing will let you know 2 different things if you use this. Split testing will let you know which design works better. Is it the classic circle? Is it a square? Is it more like a POW kind of sign, right? Where it has a lot of energy to it. You could split test the color, or you could split test the marketing, because 50% off, buy one, get one free, and BOGO, short for buy one, get one, all mean the same thing, but they all get different click rates depending on your audience. So that's where it's so important to test one variable at a time. So if you were doing a split test on these, you would put them the same copy. So you would do buy one, get one free on each image, and you would see which one works the best. And then you would change the color to brownish, to red, to bright red with a black outline. Again, same words, and you would get to see which color works the best. And then you would try your messaging, and you would see which messaging resonates the best with your audience. And it's so important because you could completely miss the boat just by using the wrong 4 words. And if there's a different way that your audience really digests that information, you could go from a 2% conversion rate to an 80% conversion rate by getting the correct messaging down. I've run through this pretty quickly, predominantly because I want to stay within your time period. So when you're thinking about which tools to use, you really want to make sure that it's what your demographic uses. So think about what is the demographic that uses email, for example, if you're thinking about email marketing. Who uses this? Versus, would my demographic be more inclined to be on their phone and receive an SMS message? Or what kinds of media do they consume? If you're going for a demographic that's really video heavy, you might not want to use a blog post or a podcast. You might really want to go for videos, right? If you're saying, well, what if my audience is on social all the time? And you'll notice I did not put social as one of the 5 pillars, because what research has shown is that it's really good for some, but it's not ideal for directing traffic. In fact, a friend of mine that is a news anchor, she had said that before she talks to an organization, she'll see if they're active on social media. And if they are, she'll talk to them. And if they're not, she thinks they may be closed. So it's important from that respect. But as far as your top priority and building your organization, building your digital footprint, getting traffic, garnering new clients, typically that won't come from social. There are exceptions, but typically that won't be directly from social. So it should be something that you use, but not out of the gate. Doesn't need to be, right? So if you do use social, think about where are you going to find your audience? Are you talking to teens? You should be on TikTok. Are you talking to moms? You should be on Facebook. Are you trying to find other professionals and network? You should be on LinkedIn, right? Just rules of thumb. If you want the mass exposure, check out your mass media outlets, social media that's also garnering some earned media through the news outlets, through submitting a press release, and then figure out how to best reach your audience. Figure out where they spend time online, and it's where your audience spends time online that you should be spending your time online marketing to them. If your audience is on Reddit and you're not on Reddit, you're missing them. If you're on Reddit and your audience is not on Reddit, there's no reason for you to be on Reddit, right? You're spinning your wheels. So make sure that you spend time where your audience spends time.
And I think that actually helps. Sorry to interrupt, Bree. I think that actually is a really good takeaway, which is the core thing when you're thinking about strategy is to think about who your audience are, what resonates with them. If like they're millennials, right? It's better to do it with social media or Instagram. And that is the key point as well. So it's that actually resonates very well with me as well. Given it's 3 more minutes, so let's I would love to like hear definitely like all the takeaways as well. So yeah, keep going.
Okay.
I have 3 minutes left. Yeah.
You got it. So for our last 3 minutes, I want to mention that you should always include the cost benefit analysis. Know the value of your lead, know what metrics you're looking at, so your cost per lead, and focus on your analytics. Focus on how your system is performing. If it's not performing well, you need to pivot. If you've tried Facebook and Facebook isn't working for you, pivot, use a different one, right? If you don't measure the effectiveness of each tactic, you won't know how well it's working. And you can't just trust, I'm growing my brand. You really need to have metrics in place to say, here's how much we've expanded. Here's how we know we've expanded. And here's what it does to our bottom line and our engagement. Let me know how it goes for you. I would love to hear from you. You can reach me on my email, bree@breegoldstein.com.
I guess this is actually a really good overview on what digital strategy is. If you have to leave the audience with, let's say, one takeaway, what would that be?
One takeaway would be know your audience and focus on where they are, who they are, what they want to hear. It's not about the organization. It's not about the individual. It's about your market, and talk to them like they want to be talked to.
That's perfect. I think that's the advice for the rest of you guys. So think about who your audience is. Just audience is the key. So the targeting, the more you nail down on the right targeting, I think your digital strategy problem is going to be solved by itself. So the more you know about them. And that was superb, like introduction to digital strategy and understanding. Like this class, I'm sure has been very helpful, Bree. So if any questions, guys, don't hesitate to put it on the networking group or send it to us. But I hope you enjoyed this session as much as me. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in. Yeah. Thanks for inviting me.
Hey, thank you. Thanks, Bree.